in your son's job in Ukraine. How is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man. You're selling access to the president. You're a damn liar, man. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Do you think it was wrong for him to take that position?
No.
Knowing that it was really because that company wanted access to you?
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that?
Don't you think that?
China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars. Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of dollars. And also, while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with Burisma to deserve 180?
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate.
The New York Post has published damning emails found on an old computer once owned by Biden's troubled son, Hunter. Now, you'll recall that Hunter was earning a king's ransom on the board of a corrupt Ukrainian energy company. His father always maintained he had nothing to do with that company or his son, but an email now proves he did, in fact, meet a senior executive.
Yes, he's said over and over that he has nothing to do with his son Hunter's business dealings overseas in countries that Joe Biden as vice president had carriage for looking after. He said he's had nothing to do with those lucrative business deals, and he knows nothing about the Ukrainian company Burisma that was paying Hunter Biden as much as $83,000 a month.
Stunning news that could blow up Joe Biden's campaign to become US president, beat Donald Trump. But news that Twitter and Facebook have gone to astonishing lengths, frightening lengths, to stop you reading. And this is, in fact, two scandals in one. In May 2015, or April 2015, thanking Hunter for inviting me to DC and giving me the opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. Now, what might have been discussed at such a meeting? Well, a year earlier, Hunter was allegedly sent this email by Burisma, also found on his laptop, complaining that the new authorities in Ukraine were quite aggressive to the Burisma boss to obtain cash from him. We urgently need your advice on how you could use your influence to convey a message or signal to stop this politically motivated action. Now, what influence did Hunter have? Well, funnily enough, his father, Joe, at the end of 2015, flew to Ukraine to give it an ultimatum. If it did not fire that prosecutor, it wasn't just harassing Burisma, by the way, but did have a reputation among other countries as no good, let's be fair. If they did not fire this prosecutor, then Biden would kill a $1 billion US loan guarantee it was after. And Joe Biden even bragged openly about what he'd done later.
These emails show that Biden's repeated claim that he has never spoken to Hunter about his business dealings were a complete lie.
This is a big story, but when I tried to click on a link to Twitter, to this story today, and I wouldn't have been the only one, millions would have done the same, This is what I and others saw. Warning, this link may be unsafe. The link you were trying to access has been identified by Twitter or our partners as being potentially spammy or unsafe. Unsafe? What rubbish. Unsafe to Joe Biden, maybe. I pushed on, and this is what Twitter was trying to stop me and others from seeing, a story that was unsafe only for Joe and his son. But if you tried to retweet that story then, Twitter wouldn't let you. Your tweet could not be sent because Twitter said this link has been identified by Twitter or our partners as being potentially harmful. And do you know Facebook did much the same? It put out a post. This story is eligible to be fact-checked by Facebook's third-party fact-checking partners. In the meantime, we are reducing its distribution on our platform. Now, the excuses that Twitter and Facebook gave for this political censorship, let's be honest about it, that's all it is, political censorship, changed during the day. Oh, look, the link was unsafe. No, the material was stolen, these emails. No, actually, it was private information. It was false, whatever. Look, it wasn't stolen. And when did Twitter and Facebook ever apply those same standards to protecting Donald Trump?
And Mr. Biden, what is your response to the New York Post story about your son, sir?
I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. Right up your alley. They're the questions you always ask.
And did you...
Adrian, that's all the time we have.
I just have one more question because, Mr. Vice President, it affects Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's Republican Senator Ron Johnson put out a statement on Homeland Security letterhead saying Hunter Biden, together with other Biden family members, profited off the Biden name. Is there any legitimacy to Senator Johnson's claims?
None whatsoever.
This week, the New York Post splashed with news of a trove of emails detailing Joe Biden's son's business dealings overseas. The emails reveal Hunter Biden had planned to introduce his father, who was of course then vice president, to an executive at a Ukrainian energy company, Burisma, a company where Hunter served on the board of directors. Publicly, Biden has said he's never spoken to his son about his overseas business dealings. But these emails seem to indicate otherwise.
How is your role as vice president in charge of policy in Ukraine and your son's job in Ukraine? How is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not going to respond to that.
Sir, I've got to ask you about packing the courts. And I know that you said yesterday you aren't going to answer the question until after the election. But this is the number one thing that I've been asked about from viewers in the past couple of days.
Well, you've been asked by the viewers who are probably Republicans who don't want me continuing to talk about what they're doing to the court right now.
Well, sir, don't the voters deserve to know where you stand?
No, they don't.
Too long in the basement, Joe! Too long in the basement!